together, we had a shared respect for one another. And then sort of the United States came and said, well, you should have a bigger house with a security guard in front of you. And we all sort of embraced that idea together. And it seems that now what you try to do is go back to sort of what it used to be. So the question is related to sort of arrogance and how the outside world perceives the image of the United States, especially under the Bush years. How can you return to a leadership role related to economical sustainability?
A huge question. I don't think I need to take that one on, really. No. Well, we are taking. I mean, you got to try to fix things where you live. My answer is, people say, "Well, you're going to do this in other countries, or do this," but we haven't even done it here yet. So we have to do it where. I mean, part of the power of the slow money non-brand is that that in the concept of. I mean, this is the power of the slow food non-brand. I mean, slow food. If you go to Europe, everyone says slow food. They don't say slow food in Italian. They say slow food in English. So why is that important? Because we invented fast food. We sent it out. You know, we have inflicted this crazy, you know, unhealthy, whatever other words you want, unsustainable system on the world because it's cheap, tastes good, easy, whatever. We seduced ourselves, and then we let everyone else get seduced by some of the, you know, let's say the flavor of a Big Mac. So we have to try to fix things here. I mean, to me, that's the first part of the answer. So this is part of an attack on, let's say, the roots of the unsustainability of the system here. So I don't know how to extrapolate that into a global response, but I do think intuitively the first step is to fight, you know, where you live. So there's a bunch of questions I can't really do justice, so we'll just take that one. But I'll stick around if people want to gab a little bit. So, yeah.
I was wondering what you think about with the desire to invest in small farms and in organics, if that can kind of backfire because then what's small might get really big and then principles might have to be simplified. I mean, ideally it wouldn't happen that way, but
that's really a question about appropriate scale. She's asking what happens if you invest in all this stuff and then it becomes big. And that kind of goes back to the Stonyfield question. I mean, if we raise $100 million, let's just take a scenario here, and we set up several small regional SFE-oriented investment programs, and we start investing in lots of these small enterprises, one of them will become the next Stonyfield. You know, I think the odds are that one of them will become the next Stonyfield, and we will all be pissed off because it will grow and it will get acquired. And we'll all debate whether it was a good thing or a bad thing. So you're asking again a slightly imponderable question, but I think the answer. But I feel confident that the real answer is the following: even though there'll be some that will violate the principle, the aspirational principles of appropriate scale, meaning nobody is smart enough to say what is the appropriate scale for a company. Is a $10 million company too big? Anecdote. We hired a new president for Investor Circle about 6 months ago. She worked at Patagonia for 4 years as chief operating officer of Patagonia. The first board retreat we were at, we got into a question of what small is. And I wrote that I thought small companies were better, more restorative. She said, well, what do you mean? I'm talking about Patagonia. Look at Patagonia. That's a big company. And I said, I think Patagonia is a small company. Mm-hmm. So it's crazy stuff because it's like small compared to what? Slow compared to what? Local compared to what? Is there a definition of local? Is it 50 miles, 100 miles, 200 miles? What is local? So I'm actually not that worried about the ambiguity, to your point. I'm reporting to you that there are lots of entrepreneurs out there who do not want to grow big companies and do not want to sell their company. And what we have to do is figure out how to provide them capital that will allow them to do what they want. And it will sort itself out. I want to take one or two more. Yeah, back there. Yeah. We'll do these two right here, then we'll wrap.
Okay, so I completely agree with what you're doing. I think you're on the right track. But given that you're looking at going public in the near future, do you have a strategy, or do you have people who you're working with who are thinking about how to counteract the negative influence of special interests and these dark forces, right, who will eventually work against you?
We just vanquished all the dark forces. They're still out there?
No.
Sorry, keep going.
For example, globalization. right? Globalization is camouflage for centralization of power, right?
Yeah.
So you know, you're sort of getting into this real esoteric, very dangerous sort of field to navigate.
Revolutionary.
Sorry?
Revolutionary.
Right.
I wish I had a Wendell Berry. In the binder we did in Vermont, we had some Wendell Berry in the back. Everybody here knows Wendell Berry, probably most of you do. And he talks about that the idea of enlarging the, I'll get back to you, don't worry, enlarging the conscience and consciousness of the economy is revolutionary. And food, using food as the wedge is revolutionary. So it is potentially revolutionary.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering what your, you know, if you thought about that and how you plan on dealing with that.
I don't know. How's that for an answer? You got to start. You got to. It comes back again to me. This is the venture capital part of me. This is not a theory. This is a bunch of entrepreneurs who are already out there. When those little companies that were listed down at the bottom there, I said SFEs, you know, High Mowing Seeds, Pete's Greens, American Flatbread. Those are just a bunch of cool little Vermont companies. Every one of which, if the entrepreneur was standing right here, you would be very happy to hear from them. They are cool people, very values oriented, completely embedded in their local communities, and in Vermont in particular, I mean, come on, they're still talking about seceding from the Union in Vermont. So, but no, we don't want them to secede. We want them in the Union, don't we? All right, no, but we don't need to anymore. It's all gone now. Yes, America's a good place now. What's wrong with you people? So, listen, I don't mean to make light of those, but those are important questions. I don't know what the answer is, but I think part of the answer is investing in entrepreneurs. This is the crazy thing about this. If you cut through all of that theory, if there weren't thousands of entrepreneurs doing the right thing this second who need capital, it would be a pretty crazy, audacious set of theories without anybody to invest in. So I trust the entrepreneurs to make this real. Yeah, so last question right there.
For the last question, I wish it was more profound. But
So do we.
where do you go when you're going out to eat lunch? What sort of restaurants do you go to?
Oh my dear. Often I have the luxury of knowing good slow food. Yeah, I realize often I'm in a place where I actually know where people are sourcing locally and organically. Whatever if I do, I go there.
And this is a very profound question.
It is. Yeah, that's profound enough. Yeah, absolutely. Every dollar is a vote. Everything you do is important. So I try to patronize the right places when I can, and then I don't eat a lot sometimes. You asked. So what are we going to do about the time and everything? We have to.
In terms of time, a key part of this is also not everyone will get a chance to ask the question, but there's a lot of wealth and knowledge in this room, and we value everyone connecting. So, yes, Woody will be here. We'd like to encourage you to move on to the reception part of this event so that you can talk to the person next to you, share your ideas, build on them. And especially with this kind of talk and the idea of slow money, I think some of us are sitting in our chairs wondering, what do I do if I'm not an investor, I don't have the money, what is my role in this? And Woody and I were discussing this together with Brian and Taryn. Advocacy is one thing we would love your help with in terms of getting the word out there. Taryn and I can commit to, everyone's on a mailing list right now, the only mailing you see from us in the immediate future will be a list of slow food options. Yeah, so expect that in your inbox within the next week. We'll compile a list and you can know where your dollar is going. But advocacy and bring your contact. So,
And I'd like to say one last addendum on that subject. We do not have a grassroots strategy right now in terms of, let's say, membership in slow money. So said, how can we help? We don't have the 36 and counting people who have signed on, who are the CEOs and the donors. They've put between $1,000 and $50,000 of their dollars on the table without any business plan at all to say we want to help you figure out how to do this. So very few people are in that position to do that. We may at some point create a membership option, like a $25 membership. This wasn't our goal. I mean, we didn't start out to try to create another NGO. We don't want to compete with other NGOs. But we are wondering what to do with the energy, if the energy is there. So stay tuned. We'll, hopefully, we're trying to create as democratic and participatory a process for this as possible. And there will be a serious advocacy. The Farm Bill, we didn't talk about policy. And there are a million groups working on this. But there are not a million investor groups working on this. And there may be a need for us as a group of investors, once we have some capital under management and we're out in public doing this, we may need to have an advocacy arm, and that might be a place where we can ask for help from a bunch of you. So stay tuned on that. But thank you for mentioning that.
Thank you. Black here, please buy the book.
Where is the book?
Oh, the book actually officially, this is very, you are in the pre-publication period. So the book does exist. It's in a warehouse in Vermont, and you can buy it either on Amazon or chelseagreen.com. I don't think it's in the first bookstore. It literally just came out about 10 days ago, so it's chelseagreen.com. chelseagreen.com. Where you'll see me and a bunch of other great authors about doing sustainable things.
Yeah, and sorry Woody can't sign a copy now, but if I can convince him to come back to New York when you have your copy, he'll sign it.
Well, I'm going to have that conversation with him in a minute.
Okay, good. I like this tag team. Thank you. A big round of applause. If any of you, a number of things, this event would not have been possible without Ryan. Is Ryan? Right there. He began this initiative. All of you collaborating talks, and the inaugural speaker is Woody. Yay. And then once Ryan had Woody, we would not be here without Jill. Jill, thank you. Berkley Center for Entrepreneurial Studies. Yes, I got it. Oh my God. Yes, thank you. Gabe, Reynolds program, and Green Leaders, thank you so much for your help. If you're interested in any of our initiatives, you can find it on the Eventbrite. StartingBloc also has some flyers we've given out. What we do is create a fellowship program that brings speakers like Woody, maybe not as cool as Woody. And you can get information on that on this flyer. We hope that you can join us for other events and advocacy. If there's one thing you leave this event with, after the wine, we need to talk about some money and money up there. Thank you for being here. Look forward to talking to you.